My team follows every process, but nothing improves until I step in. That's a challenge that I hear from a lot of business owners. There is an illusion to optimization. Right, if you're an optimizer, like you're no longer doing the work, and now you've got other people making decisions. You don't have to make as many decisions anymore. And now you have this illusion that now I'm not working in my business, I'm working on my business. This is the ultimate achievement of any entrepreneur. I'm working on my business, not in it. And all what I do every day is I just create systems and processes. But let me give you a reality check. If you're the one creating the systems, you're still working in your business. Yes, you've had that one step removed, that evolution of a leader that most leaders don't take, because a lot of leaders still try to keep control of the work. Some leaders try to keep control of the decisions, but some are able to step back and just control the systems. But they're still controlling because they're really strict in here. This is a system, follow it. And what happens is we have this illusion that we're working on our business, but we are still reliant. If we are the ones creating the systems, if the systems still end with us, then we are still a bottleneck in the business. Yes, it's a little bit more of a scaled bottleneck, but we are still a bottleneck in the business. Now, here's the ultimate aim of the evolution of a leader is the fact that we have to remove all centrality. We can't be reliant on for anything in the business if we want to truly evolve to that highest level of a leader. But let's talk about that optimizer. That optimizer, the person that is working in the business, not the illusion that they're working on the business. They think that, oh, you know what? I don't look. I can do my business and I can run everything, and I like I don't need to do anything in my business because I've created all these amazing systems. Is anyone else able to optimize? Because here's the thing. Systems scale execution, but they don't scale thinking. Yes, systems stabilise organisations, but leadership evolution requires us to develop systems that can evolve beyond the person that builds it. That the thinking can evolve beyond the person that thought of it. That growth can happen, that change can happen beyond the person that changed it. Too often, leaders implement systems in their business as a form of control of quality, control of production, control of people, like whatever they want to control, they're now controlling through a system. But if you're still in control of things, that means you're still dependent, or the business is still dependent on you. And so if you have developed systems, but none of your team are able to adapt those, then you can't scale beyond that. Now, I remember now, this is probably not the best example of it, because whenever we talk about systems and optimizations, everyone always goes to McDonald's, right? And it's true, they've been able to scale through their systems, and it's really good. But I remember when I worked in McDonald's. Okay, I think the statute of limitations has ended out. So let me just share this. I used to work at McDonald's, and I am an optimizer. That's what I do. I optimize. And so I always find a more efficient way. While I was working at McDonald's, it was always really frustrating. I love the systems because being OCD, it was able to follow the systems and it was beautiful. Loved how the business operated, everything, there's a system for everything. However, when we did closes, right, when we closed the store, there's a certain process that you have to follow just to make sure everything gets done right. And I understand that. However, I'm an optimizer. And so I could find more efficient ways, and I was getting to a point where I do the close, right? So the close is once everything shuts to clean everything. The challenge I gave myself, so a normal close would normally take about an hour, right? About an hour, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. I got my closes down to being able to clock off within seconds of the store closing. I know, that's why I say statute of limitation. I broke all the rules, everything like that. However, I didn't sacrifice food quality. I didn't sacrifice workplace health and safety. I was still very conscious of don't do this, don't do that. Now, I had very lenient managers at that time. They turned a blind eye to some things because it worked out better for them because they were paying me less because I clocked off as soon as the store closed because I'd finished everything. It was one last wipe down of one little thing and then that was it, right? And so, but in reality, I wasn't allowed to do that. And no, I wasn't allowed to thrive. But when I did that, I loved it and I was feeling fulfilled. It was a challenge. What I'm saying is we think we're the all and end all when it comes to optimization when we run the business. But we're not. Because the people working in our business, they also have a different perspective. They also have a different take. They see things from a different perspective, or they know how they operate best. And so sometimes this optimizer, we want to keep complete control of what we are doing, of what is done in the business by I'm going to create the systems and everyone must follow step 1, step 2, step 3, and it's not ended, right? But this is how I do it with my team. Yes, I work hard on developing systems sometimes. Overall, yes, quality control. Overall, yes, delivery of product, 100%. But in reality, I will employ someone, and when I first employ them, I will say, here is the outline of the way we kind of do it. This is the outcome that we want to achieve. I don't care about the process, I only care about the outcome. And if you can deliver me a better outcome, great. But whatever you do, I'm employing you because you're the expert. You know how you best operate. You know how you flow in whatever you do. So I'm not going to restrict you by making you have to do step 1, step 2, step 3 exactly the way I do and use the same tools that I. No. If you want to use a different tool, let me know about it. And if you can work better in that, you may know something that I don't. If you have a different way of doing it, whatever. I don't care as long as we produce the outcome. And so I'm employing you as the expert. So why wouldn't I take advantage of your experience and your knowledge to be able to then deliver something that's better than what I know? Because I'm the boss, right? Like I understand all areas. I'm not expected to be an expert in absolutely every area. And so if I'm the only one who can create systems, I'm the new bottleneck in the business because the business cannot scale beyond me. Then what happens is your employees, all what they do is they stop thinking. Now, just think about this. Imagine if you have people that are just literally just paid by numbers. They don't think. Now, some people might think, oh, that's great, we get the work done. Yeah, but there's no scale. There's no growth there. If your systems only improve when you touch them, when you're involved, you haven't scaled thinking. You've centralized it. So my encouragement to you is to evolve as a leader. Develop systems. That's a great evolution to become an optimizer in your business. But you can't be the only optimizer. You must decentralize the optimization to the people that are actually executing and utilizing those systems themselves. And that is how we evolve as a leader. Because evolving leaders evolve leaders. People are different. Everyone operates differently. So a different system might work better for them. Systems change. Like literally right now, the systems we are using in our business literally weren't even available 12 months ago. And so there's new tools and new software and new ways of doing things. The algorithms change and everything like that. All these things change. If it's reliant on me being the only one to change a system, that means I have to know every single new thing that's happening in every single department of my organization and but imagine that. But that is not freedom. That is not scale. The best scale is if you can release that thinking, the systems and processes to your team. Yes, give them parameters, of course. And yes, give systems to start out with so that you know that, hey, we're actually developing but this is where we start, at least a starting base, because you don't want people to come in and go, we've got nothing, just go, because it's a free-for-all and then there's no order and no structure and that you haven't set expectations for your team. Of course, set it. But don't retain that authority for the systems. Encourage them to develop their own systems process because every single person I employ, I say, here's our process. Feel free to change whatever you want as long as we have this outcome.